There are times in our lives, sometimes all too often, where we feel the rising pressure of the battles that we face day to day, and it overwhelms us to the point where we wonder why we even try. I'm not even talking specifically about depression or harmful thoughts, I'm talking simply about the crushing aspects of our daily battles. There's a scene specifically in the Lost Children arc of Berserk in which a young girl named Jill, forced to deal with unspeakable darkness and adversity in her own life, forced to grow up way too fast, juxtaposed with the idea of staying young and childlike forever, believing in a land of elves and fairies and that there's an amazing paradise out there somewhere free from the darkness of the world that the adults have created. This arc focuses a lot on the loss of innocence and finding out the bitter truths about reality. As Guts is a character who also had his innocence taken away from him, it parallels Jill's journey in an interesting way. But as Jill wishes to come along with Guts and to have this strong, powerful man take her away from the hardships of her own life, seeing him as the escape route and a chance to go somewhere else and be something else, Guts in his lowest state of mind, and yet still with an underlying sense of nurturing and care, tells Jill to take a look around at his reality. A world of constant battle and demonic forces coming for him at all hours of the night. He wraps her in his cloak, symbolizing the protective wings of a parental figure, and instead of giving her a beautiful lie, he tells her the painful truth, that there is no paradise for her to escape to. You will be facing struggle. The entire world is a battlefield, and every single person is fighting a battle of their own in their own way. No paradise, it means it doesn't matter if you come with me or if you stay here, you will always be fighting. There is no magical misty valley where you will be safe. This powerful scene really wraps up the coming of age portion of this part of Berserk, and it has so much truth to it. Because how do we do it? How do we continue to fight in this life knowing that there will hardly ever be a moment for us to rest? And I know there are those out there that have found some sort of consistent ease and happiness in their life, but I never thought happiness was the goal that we should be working towards. More so, we should work towards the growth of ourselves. Maybe I'm speaking too much in generalities, but I feel like a large portion of the people that gravitate towards stories like Berserk, Vagabond, Vinland Saga, even just anime and manga in general, we very much feel like the outcasts of our own lives, and I think gravitating towards stories about becoming your best self or fighting against unstoppable odds, and stories with the themes of struggle and progression, it relates back to how we feel in our day-to-day lives. Whether you were picked on as a kid, bullied, harassed, disregarded, sinking in loneliness and isolation, or you just can't seem to catch a fucking break to save your life, I know what all that's like. I know what it's like to hate every fiber of your being and wonder why you're even alive. The idea that tomorrow you're going to have to do this all over again and continue to struggle and continue to fight your battle with no foreseeable ending. But I think that a lot of these stories have shown us is that it's not about the ending. The struggle itself, the fight, the war of life, it's meant to be fought. It's not about winning, it's about fighting, and the world is a battlefield, and the more experience that we gain, the stronger that we become. But I always say that I believe storytelling is one of the most important aspects of being human. Ever since we were drawing paintings on a cave wall, stories help spread wisdom, advice, lessons, and above all else, they inspire. The hero's journey, broken down by Joseph Campbell, shows how pretty much every major story is constructed similarly for that reason. True knowledge and wisdom is passed down using stories to do so, and it's the most effective way to help motivate a person. Vagabond is a very beautifully drawn manga with a great samurai-era aesthetic, but other than just creating exciting fight scenes, Vagabond literally teaches you about life within its fights. Musashi vs. Inshin is such a profound piece of art and understanding of what it means to put your life on the line, to embrace the way of the universe, that your sword is one with heaven and earth, meaning you can't force anything to be, and you cannot escape the inevitable, but you do not have to be afraid of it. Fear is simply a survival mechanism meant to keep you alive. It's not something meant to rule over your entire life. Reread this fight, and you will understand. As Guts runs after the eclipse, after the devastating loss of his friends, it's a physical expression he is allowing to release. We need to break down sometimes. Even Guts, pretty much the staple of masculinity, has moments of pain, weakness, and trauma. And so many people have said that Guts inspires them and that they relate to him not because he swings a 200-pound sword around, but because of the pain that he has gone through and still managed to push forward in spite of. Whether it be the child abuse, the loss of friends, the betrayal, or the long journey where you are full of rage and isolated and all you want to do is cause more pain to justify your own pain. We get it because we feel it, or we have felt it, or we can empathize with it, or we see the rights and wrongs of it. And if you are going through your own Black Swordsman arc right now, I hope you are able to find your true strength at the other end of it. Thorfinn from Vinland Saga experienced the darkness of both war and slavery, and maybe we can't relate to that exactly, but we can understand that after the absolute pain and turmoil that he lived through, that he would want to rise above the hardships and do something better for the world. That as a seasoned, experienced veteran, he discovers that a true warrior's battle is finding another way other than what is the default. That he wants to become a kinder, gentler, stronger person in a world that's filled with hate and conflict. And is it really so different than the current state of the world we're in now? The division, the hatred, the tribalism, the finger-pointing, blaming. Is it possible to put down our knives and discover that there is nobody that we need to hurt? Will there ever be a time that we're able to throw down our swords? Most of us are so guarded, myself included, that I don't know if I can ever fully trust somebody again. But I want to. And I want to be a more loving person, and I want to be a more understanding person. I want to be something more than I am, but the default state of my own mind is very energy depleting and miserable. And without these inspiring stories, without characters like Guts, Thorfinn, Kenshin, Musashi, Yusuke, I don't know if I would have even made it as far as I have. And I know I'm not the only one that in real life didn't really have any mentor figures to look up to. I mean, I didn't have anybody to guide me to what I should be, but I had this nerdy anime shit that I liked, and even as cheesy as it sounds, it really kind of saved me in a lot of ways. Even as a kid watching Dragon Ball Z, and moments where Gohan finally broke and turned Super Saiyan 2, letting me know that there is great power within, and sometimes we are unable to reach it on our own. Sometimes we don't know how to break our own barriers. That sometimes a singular moment of intense expression is what we need to physically let it out and beat down the obstacles that are oppressing us. So I guess what I'm trying to say in this video is that on the one hand, these stories, even though they are fictional, they can be interpreted into our own lives and maybe show us how to be just a little bit better, or push us to keep fighting for just a little bit longer. And also, if you're going through hardships right now, just try to keep fighting as hard and as long as you can. Keep fighting not for a reward at the end of it, or to find some fairy tale land of peace. Keep fighting because the fight itself and the refusal to be put into submission already shows that the character and strength to achieve is within you. So keep struggling, because one day you will hit them where it hurts. Anyways, that's my message for all of you guys today. As always, thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Like it, comment on it if you want. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. But more so than that, if you guys are going through hard times, I hope that these stories can help inspire you like they have in me. And I wish you all the best moving forward.